Kevin Stefanski makes Shedeur Sanders' future loud and clear as Browns QB battle shakes the roster. The Cleveland Browns have closed the curtain on their preseason with perfection. A 3-0 record, optimism buzzing in the locker room, and a fanbase eager to see what this team can become. But while the victories on paper suggest stability, the truth beneath the surface tells a more complicated tale, especially at the quarterback position. For months, the Browns' quarterback room has been the most dissected storyline in Cleveland sports, and after a nail-biting 19-17 victory over the Los Angeles Rams to finish the preseason, head coach Kevin Stefanski and general manager Andrew Berry have made something abundantly clear. Shedeur Sanders' future, at least in the short term, is no longer wrapped in mystery. The son of the magnetic and polarizing Deion Coach Prime, Sanders entered Cleveland's camp with excitement swirling around him. Drafted with the kind of hype rarely seen for a mid-round rookie quarterback, Shedeur wasn't just carrying his own dreams. He was carrying the expectations of a fanbase desperate for consistency and a family name steeped in football glory. But the question now is blunt. Is Shedeur Sanders ready for the NFL spotlight? A crowded quarterback room that refuses to thin out. When Andrew Berry met with reporters after Saturday's win, his words were careful but firm. "We have a room that we like all the guys in there," he said. "We don't really see that as a problem. We more see it as an opportunity." This wasn't the typical "we'll evaluate the tape" kind of coach speak. Berry's words carried meaning. The Browns are strongly considering something unusual for modern NFL roster construction, carrying four quarterbacks into Week 1. That list would include the veteran Joe Flacco, the injured Kenny Pickett, rookie third-round pick Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders. The decision to keep four quarterbacks speaks volumes about the chaos and potential inside this room. The Browns know they need stability at the position, but they're also refusing to throw away developmental talent. It's a juggling act, one that places Sanders squarely in the middle of one of the league's most intriguing quarterback puzzles. Flacco the starter, but who's next? The Browns' hierarchy at QB1 was settled early. Joe Flacco, the Super Bowl-winning veteran, has looked sharp, confident, and commanding. Against the Rams, Flacco's performance was crisp, completing 9 of 10 passes for 71 yards in 3 drives. At age 40, Flacco might not be the long-term answer, but he is undeniably the short-term stabilizer for a team still scarred by Deshaun Watson's injury absence. Behind Flacco, though, the race has been nothing short of dramatic. Kenny Pickett's hamstring injury has kept him from seriously competing for the backup role, leaving the spotlight to fall on Gabriel and Sanders. Early in camp, Shedeur looked like the frontrunner. His 14 of 23 passing performance against the Panthers, including 2 touchdowns, showcased flashes of poise and vision. For a moment, it felt like the Browns had stumbled upon lightning in a bottle. But then the oblique injury came. That minor but nagging setback opened the door for Dillon Gabriel to shine. And shine he did. Against the Eagles, Gabriel went 13 of 18 for 143 yards. A steady, professional outing that didn't scream star, but did whisper ready. That whisper grew louder in the finale against the Rams, where Gabriel outshined Sanders by a wide margin. The Rams game, a defining moment. The final preseason game was supposed to be Shedeur Sanders' chance to cement his claim to QB2. Instead, it became a cautionary tale. While Gabriel calmly led drives, completing 12 of 19 passes for 129 yards and a touchdown, Sanders struggled mightily. On 5 possessions, he completed only 3 of 6 passes for 14 yards. Worse, he was sacked 5 times, each moment amplifying concerns about his pocket awareness and decision-making. And then came the gut punch. With under 2 minutes left, Shedeur believed he would be given the chance to run the final drive. A classic audition moment for a young quarterback fighting for recognition. But Stefanski had other plans. Tyler Huntley, the journeyman with starting experience, was sent in instead. It was a symbolic move the kind coaches rarely make lightly. For many observers, it felt like Stefanski was sending a message not just to Sanders but to the entire team. Performance matters, and right now Gabriel and Huntley inspire more confidence. Analysts split, but the verdict feels harsh. The debate over Sanders' readiness has divided Cleveland media. On 92.3 The Fan, Daryl Ruiter didn't hold back. "I think they got their answer yesterday with Shedeur. He's not ready. He's not ready. Like I know you don't want to hear that, but that's the answer. Dillon Gabriel looks more ready to play than Shedeur Sanders does." Nick Pedone, his co-host, pushed back. Pedone argued that Stefanski robbed Sanders of a fair chance by not letting him run the 2-minute drill, saying, "Shedeur should have played that last final 2-minute drive." To Pedone, the decision was less about performance and more about circumstance. A coaching staff unwilling to risk optics on a struggling rookie. But in the NFL, fairness doesn't always exist. Results matter. And the results from the Rams game were undeniable. Gabriel looked like a quarterback who could step in tomorrow if needed. Sanders looked like a project. The weight of the Sanders name. For Shedeur Sanders, the criticism doesn't come in isolation. He is not just a rookie quarterback. He is the son of Deion Sanders, a Hall of Fame cornerback, college football head coach, and cultural icon. That shadow carries both privilege and pressure. From the moment he declared for the NFL draft, questions about Shedeur's talent were interwoven with speculation about his father's influence. Was he NFL ready because of his play or because of his pedigree? Could he lead a franchise on his own merit? Or would he forever be defined as Coach Prime's son? The Browns didn't draft Sanders for marketing value. They drafted him because they saw potential. But potential in the NFL is a fragile thing. It survives only when paired with production. Saturday's struggles reopened the uncomfortable conversation about whether Sanders' name and confidence can survive the crucible of early NFL criticism. Shedeur's own voice. For all the outside noise, Sanders himself has remained remarkably composed. After the Rams game, when asked about his roster hopes, the rookie spoke with quiet determination. "I think, overall as a player, I've put in the work. I feel like everything I do, I try to do it to my best, and that's all I can ask for. I feel like everybody feels like they should be on the team. If you ask anybody on the team, would they feel like they belong in their own eyes. I feel like I do, but I'm my own player. I think about myself in a high regard, of course. It's not my decision." It's a mature statement, one that reflects his upbringing. Shedeur is not blind to the realities of NFL roster cuts. He knows he's competing against Gabriel, Huntley, and time itself. But his words also reveal a mindset rooted in self-belief, the same belief that carried him from Jackson State to Colorado and eventually to the NFL. Roster cuts loom. The NFL's deadline is merciless. By Tuesday, August 26th, every team must trim to 53 men. For Shedeur Sanders, that date looms like a storm cloud. Logic suggests the Browns will keep 4 quarterbacks. Flacco is the starter. Pickett is too valuable to discard. Gabriel has earned his stripes, and Sanders remains an investment worth protecting. Cutting him outright would be risky. Another team might pounce, seeing untapped upside. The more likely scenario is Sanders sticking as QB3 or QB4, learning from Flacco, and developing behind the scenes. Still, the optics of being benched in the preseason finale won't fade quickly. For many, it was the moment Stefanski made his stance loud and clear. Shedeur is not in the running for QB2. Not yet. The path forward. What happens next for Shedeur Sanders depends on 2 things. Time and patience. The Browns' quarterback room is unusual, but it might be the perfect environment for his growth. Joe Flacco's veteran presence offers Sanders a chance to learn from a Super Bowl winner. Dillon Gabriel's sharp preseason play adds pressure, but also competition, a necessary ingredient for improvement. And Kenny Pickett, still recovering, remains a reminder that opportunities in the NFL can arrive suddenly, without warning. Sanders' journey won't be defined by one preseason game, but it will be remembered as the moment his career hit its first reality check. A franchise in search of a savior. The Cleveland Browns have been chasing quarterback stability for decades. From Tim Couch to Baker Mayfield to Deshaun Watson, the search for the guy has haunted the franchise. Flacco might win games this year, but he is not the long-term answer. Neither is Pickett. That leaves the door wide open for a rookie, Gabriel or Sanders, to eventually rise. Shedeur has made it clear he wants to be a player to be able to change a franchise. For Cleveland, that line isn't just inspirational. It's a plea. The franchise desperately needs someone to carry that weight. Whether Sanders is that player remains unknown. Conclusion: Stefanski's message rings loud. Kevin Stefanski didn't need to say much after the Rams game. His decisions spoke volumes. By benching Shedeur Sanders in the final moments, he signaled where the rookie currently stands. On the roster, but not yet trusted. That's not a death sentence for Sanders' career. It's a starting point. The NFL isn't about how you begin. It's about how you adapt, grow, and seize the moment when it arrives. For now, Shedeur Sanders is still a Cleveland Brown. He's still a